All right, guys, welcome back to another segment of Hats, Tats, and Stats here at the home of HTS, New Era Park in Depew, 3950 Broadway, indoor premier baseball training facility. Me and him have a lot of history out here on this turf and in these cages, and they're nice enough to let us sit here and do this stuff. So look them up online, check them out. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel a little bruised from this weekend.
That's an understatement. Bruised. Yeah, I would say that lightly. I don't know. I don't even know what to say after that. That was hard to watch.
You know, if you guys watched our week one preview and got through the hour-long segment, which we adamantly apologize for and are trying not to have happen again, the Bills got thumped. Bills got thumped bad. I know a lot of people, and I mean, I know we both took the Bills in our pick'em, but I mean, we're fans, so I mean,
nobody's going to pick the Bills regardless. We're going 15-1. That's, we had a bump in the road. That's all there is to it.
Sometimes when you circle wagons, you hit a bump in the road.
I think that was actually what we hit, was a giant Buffalo pothole.
That analogy makes more sense than a lot of things I've heard so far. So, I mean, what did we see? We watched the game together. We were at a friend's house, and I mean, what did you see?
We saw what we thought the offensive line was going to be. Not great, but more importantly, what I saw was I have no idea what our offensive identity was trying to be. I don't understand the play calling, to say the least. I mean, we talked about what we thought Peterman's strong suit was going to be in order to survive behind that offensive line, and I feel like he was put in a bad position, and granted, he's atrocious. There's nothing to be said about that, but we didn't even give him a chance.
No.
I really don't know what we were trying to do there. It looked like a shell of what Peterman's strong suit was. McCoy was non-existent, which I also thought was due to play calling, and I understand we fell behind, but I mean, we abandoned it quick. Yeah,
I mean, what was it? There was midway through the second quarter, we saw the stat that it was his fifth carry of the day.
Yeah,
and I mean, they went down and scored, and then there was one, if not two, at least two drives that we held them before they scored again.
Yeah,
to me, there's no need to just, oh crap, we tried to run, we got stuffed to the backfield, or we got stuffed for no gain. Let's throw it.
There was no reason to abandon it that early. There was still time, and he's our best player on the team. And with what we put out on offense, he should touch the ball 75% of the time, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't disagree.
Who else are we giving it to? Benjamin? Benjamin looked like I don't have choice words for Kelvin Benjamin. That was bad.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the laziest performances I've ever seen.
He looked like Randy Moss on the Raiders when he stopped caring. Just half jogging, lazy routes. It was bad. It was bad all around.
Yeah, his body language thoroughly irritated me watching that game. I understand we're getting beat and we're not in a great place, and you might be a little frustrated, but people see that, and you're technically a veteran, and you're supposed to be one of the marquee guys on the roster, and everyone's looking at you walking around. So I don't know, I'm surprised McDermott puts up with that.
I am too. I mean, then one of the things that we've heard for so long is one of the reasons McDermott likes him so much is because he's a workhorse.
Well, if he looks great behind closed doors when I'm not looking, that's all fine and well. But I got to watch Sundays, so
right.
That's what I care about.
I mean, I think there's no more bigger tell to that than the absolute laser beam that Allen stuffed into his chest. Hit him in the worst spot, right in the numbers.
No, the worst part about that is, you run your mouth to Cam, and then you take one right to the bullseye and couldn't handle the heater. So
stuff it up through the uprights for us.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I mean, you look even worse after that. So
yeah,
that's we didn't have many bright spots, and that was one of them. And he dropped the damn thing. So
yeah,
that was rough.
I mean, it looked lazy, like he wasn't expecting the ball, or that he wasn't expecting it to be thrown hard because of where they were in the game or what. I mean, I don't remember last time I saw a receiver in the NFL go up in the end zone like this, and I mean that's what it looked like. It was instead of it.
Yeah, he looked.
I'm just a lineman. I don't know.
Well, there's only so much you can say about it, I guess.
Right.
I feel like at some point we're going to beat a dead horse about how bad we possibly could be in a round, but there's no excuse for effort as far as I'm concerned. You can be as bad as you want to, but I need the effort all the way through. He looks like he quit early.
I agree. And I mean, just judging by a lot of the other things that happened, I didn't see a whole lot of other people busting their ass to break the mold.
Josh Allen looks like he was. That was about it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's a kid that's looking to say, like, give me the ball.
I mean, he definitely provided a spark. It looked like we looked a little different when he came out there. His athleticism gave him a chance to make plays because that offensive line is so bad, and Peterman doesn't have that. So
no.
Again, he was supposed to get the ball out of his hands, and that was going to be his best shot, and he looked confused.
I mean, there were even plays, and while we're talking about the offensive line, there were plays that he had time.
Yep. Yes, there was. It wasn't an absolute debacle. There were plays where time existed, but then now you got to look up at our receivers, and they can't get separation.
And then when they do, he throws the ball well over someone's head to a safety. And you can blame the weather, you can blame the wet ball, but I mean, Flacco had to throw it too.
You're in the NFL, and I mean, you got there for a reason, theoretically,
allegedly.
So it was bad all the way around. We can point fingers at everybody, and nobody had a game worth talking about.
No. And with that, we're going to move on to somebody who did have a game worth talking about. What the hell happened on Monday night with the Jets and the Lions?
Lock of the week.
This is the part where we get to look back and laugh at ourselves a little bit. For those playing the home game, our pick'ems didn't go great. We'll get that in another segment. But I was pumped. I went to a flag football game that I couldn't play in, but I was introducing a new player to the team that I play with. And he looks down at his phone and he goes, first pass of his career, pick 6.
Yeah, the play call was interesting. They were definitely trying to take a shot. It was snuffed out pretty well. When you ask somebody to throw across the field like that, the possibility of it getting picked is huge. And it looked like it was going to be there for a minute, and then it just wasn't. But to rebound after that and rebound with authority, and I tell you what, that team rallied right behind him. You could see it on the sideline. I mean, they were phased absolutely zero by that play, which was impressive in their own right for them,
Right. Because, the Jets of years past absolutely go, here we go again.
Yeah, and you're on the road. It's Monday night, and nobody blinked.
No.
Nobody blinked. So
nobody blinked to the tune of, from there, Darnold went 16 for 21 for 198 and 2 with the one pick. And, as we're going to cover a little bit, the big one is the W. Doesn't matter how good you look if you lose.
Hey, you want to talk about somebody's offensive line looking good? Their offensive line looked great. He stood back there. Listen, you got to make the throws, you got to make the plays, but boy, it looks like he had a lot of time to do whatever the hell he wanted to.
Sure did.
That one touchdown pass, he regripped the ball 3 times. You got a safety to suck up on an under route because he pumped it twice. That's a lot of time to hang out back there. So, but still, he had to make the throws. He did great.
Their running game looked good. They looked like they were firing on all cylinders. I don't know if the Jets are that good. I don't know if the Lions are that bad. We kind of talked about that before we started filming here.
We're still watching week 1, and you sit all off season around and we talk about it, and everyone thinks they have a great idea, and then turns out no one really did in the first place. So, and I expect that every year in week 1. It's hard.
That's why it's the worst week for survivor pools.
Yeah. I have a new lock of the week for next week. Don't you worry.
I'm coming back. The lock of the week is officially a segment. That's something we're going to bring out every week because just of the comedic timing of this one.
Yeah, why not?
Another news, and this one. I did not expect our first week of filming for our podcast to spark such debate.
Yeah, I was.
But we spent a lot of time and a lot of cramped fingers this week defending our
carpal tunnel, man. I thought about getting rid of my Facebook for a hot minute there. It was rough.
We're the only two apparently that feel this way.
It sounds like it. It sounds like everyone you talk to, we're the only two that having a very specific opinion about this, and it's not even just an opinion; it's more of
our view on how success is measured.
Right, and the fact that it can't be measured right this second.
Right.
I mean, the fact that Khalil Mack had such a game, and it was a great game. No one's denying that. No one's denying his talent. Nothing. I mean, he clearly made an impact immediately. But the conversation was, what does it do for your franchise over the long term, and how does his deal and what he got and what they gave up to get him affects that team for the next 3 to 5.
Right.
So to get blown up because we played a half of football and everyone thought that he was the most amazing thing since sliced bread. And
it's funny.
I've never been more satisfied to lose a pick in my life than
right.
the Green Bay Packers winning that football game.
I'm looking at his stat line, and he did have a great game, because when you say, a guy's got a pick six, a sack, and a forced fumble in a game, that's huge.
As a defensive player, that's about as good as it gets.
Right. I mean, that's 3 big plays. Outside of that, he only had 3 tackles.
Well, I mean, they were going to limit his snaps. He didn't have the whole training camp, so they said that going in, that he was going to be on what they called a snap count. So, I mean, again, to make the plays that he made in the limited amount of time, absolutely amazing. So, and again, not doubting his talent level, what he brings to the team, he clearly makes them better. But we're having a long-term conversation that just can't be decided right now, and people need to be okay with that.
Yeah, I even this morning I woke up, had a little heartburn from the weekend here, but
your pizza,
I woke up and there people are still going at that one status of mine, because I had to put the final score down because of how many people were talking about it. So I literally just took a little picture and just put it and said, "Oh, what happened? I thought Mac was the answer," and it's still going. It's still blowing up. People are still commenting on it.
And that's unfair to us too, because again, you're the inside of us are mildly satisfied that Green Bay wins that game, just to put an immediate satisfaction to it. But that's still not the point that we're trying to make. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is disgusting. Nobody else wins that game.
No.
So we wouldn't even be able to hang our hat on that. But again, the point is, this is a 3 to 5 year conversation that we're not prepared to settle at this point. That's just unfair.
I mean, the closest I've come to this with anybody is our buddy Eric brought up that there is some salary cap room for them next year still, which, in my opinion, that's your only hope, is that you not only is that there's somebody out there that you want, but that you can get them too.
Yep. Listen, if they make the move and they find a way to win it all while he's on the roster, then great. Because I said the same thing. If the Bills could have picked up Mac and it means we win a Super Bowl, we could suck for the next 5 to 10. I wouldn't care, because I finally have one in my pocket.
Right.
So that's, to me, the measurement, because what else are we playing for? So if the Bears find a way to put pieces together and win the whole thing, then absolutely, that was worth it to the team.
Which was also one of my favorites. Is winning the Super Bowl the only standard for success? And the answer is yes.
What else are we doing here?
Yes.
What else are we playing for?
Nobody gets participation trophies. The Pro Bowl's a joke. I mean, yeah, you get your own personal stats and but I mean, maybe this is just me and you being team guys. I mean, I know that I've always been the guy that, am I pissed off if I go 0 for 4, but we won? Yeah, I'm pissed off that I went 0 for 4, but we won, so it's okay.
At the end of the year, when I'm drinking booze out of the cup, that's satisfactory to me. So
yeah,
I mean, the Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row, and we get remembered for it. But we're not in the same conversation as everybody else because we don't have one. So yes, the only standard
is the standard. The standard. And the guy who has one, Aaron Rodgers, who got taken out of the game for a little while, got carted off, and people thought, well, there goes the Packers season again.
Yeah, that was
ends up 20 for 30, 286, and 3 touchdowns. Their top running back had 46 yards. He did it himself.
That's the story of the Packers. I mean, I tweeted out during the game, will the Packers ever have a running game ever again? And I don't remember the last time they did.
I mean,
his name Dorsey Levens, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, you could say Amon Green. You could, the man made of glass, Eddie Lacy, when he was healthy.
James Starks.
Starks
was
brought up.
Serviceable.
Yeah.
I have one question about the Packers training staff. Where do they get their drugs from? Because whatever they gave him was magical.
Yeah.
So I got a couple phone calls out. I'm looking into it, but I need answers because, I mean, he looked like a magician, and then he sounded like he was on cloud 9 after that game. What was the injury? My knee. You don't say.
I didn't get a chance to watch the video of that, but it's on my desktop at home, like queued up, ready to rock. I didn't have the chance to hit play on it.
Those eyes are glassed over, and that smile is ear to ear. I mean, and I get it. You're probably euphoric from the win, but there's something extra going on there. That's the good stuff.
I mean, to that point, like, you're walking in, your wife looks at you, and she just knows. And you're like, I did it again.
That final drive, though, I mean, the first 2 plays look absolutely atrocious, and you feel like there's no chance. And then he just flicks his wrist, and the ball's this far away from the DB's hands, and I mean, then he runs away for another 60 to score. It was unbelievable. We shouldn't be surprised anymore, I guess. I mean,
not
for somebody that just gets Hail Marys to fall in the right place consistently, that's insane.
It was him that got the Hail Mary. Wasn't it week 1 last year, or was it 2 years ago? He threw the bomb, and like the no-name tight end that's never really played another down of football in his life. Like,
his name was Rodgers.
Was sitting like in front of the goal line, and like everybody else is going up, and all of a sudden he just like backpedal, and like up in front of everybody and pulled it in, and everyone's like,
track of his Hail Marys.
I mean,
just and that's not even the first time he's done that to the Bears either. He did it in the playoffs a couple years ago, and so that's. I guess this is how he rolls.
Yeah.
I don't know. Win the game in the first half. Save the drama for somebody else.
Somebody else brought up online. He doesn't have that many fourth quarter comebacks. It's just every single one he has comes down to some miraculous play that only he can do.
Yeah. Well, that was a comeback as a whole, because you're down 20 points midway through the third. So,
right.
I mean, that's a comeback.
And I mean, don't call it a comeback, but there was a little magic in New Orleans this weekend.
The Fitz magic.
The Fitz magic.
It's the only way to back up the curse of Fitz magic is to be Fitz magic himself. That's a shootout and a half. What a game! I mean, you went toe to toe with Drew Brees and put up stats of a lifetime for yourself.
Just through the air. If my math is right, 867 yards or ish, 64 yards ish, and 7 touchdowns.
I mean, that's what the new NFL is supposed to look like, I guess, right?
I guess. I mean,
the only way you put up more numbers than that is put flags on people.
That's very true.
I mean, that's
what
they're shooting for. They want the points and the fun. But still, I mean, regardless of new rules or anything like that, those are both impressive games. I mean,
and then Fitz on top of it had more rushing yards than the top rusher for New Orleans. Kamara only had 29 yards, but he scored twice.
Well, he's versatile, catching balls out of the backfield, so obviously his total yards are going to be bigger. But my favorite part about the rushing yards was his touchdown. And Fitz lowers his head into the goal line, and I mean, in true blue collar Fitz fashion, that was great.
Can we coin Fitz fashion now?
I don't know. It's too early, but I'd spell it with a Z if we do. So just it's just savvy. Fitz fashion.
Listen. I can put a little thing up here underneath us, like
a Zuba Z.
Yeah. And I mean, then we can comment on like the uniforms of the week.
We'll bring girls on for that segment. They can pick the lock of the week judging by uniform colors, because what do I know?
Right. I mean, last time somebody tried that, it worked for them, and they won a lot of money. So, I mean, anything else that stuck out in week 1? I mean, we covered three big storylines. The Bills getting just dumped on.
I mean, it's like I said before. Week 1 is such a hit or miss, I'm not surprised that things went how they went, because I guess you just expect I expect myself to not have any idea what week 1 actually turns out to be. You feel good about stuff, and then you watch it, and it's just.
I mean, I know.
Did I expect Stafford to throw 4 picks at home on Monday night? Absolutely not. What am I supposed to do?
Right. I don't know.
I make a logical choice of a primetime game. And Darnold's on the road as a rookie quarterback, and and you're playing a gunslinger and Matt Stafford, that game goes awry. I don't see that.
All I know when it comes to my history with week 1 and suicide pools, if I get through week 1, I'm going deep.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm I'm either out in week 1 or
some answers.
Yeah.
It gives you some sort of insight. I don't know. Kirk Cousins wins a game in Minnesota. He didn't look amazing, but he did what Kirk Cousins does, and it's usually enough to win you a game. And Minnesota's defense, they're going to make some noise. That division's going to be interesting. The Bears are improved. That's going to be tight in there. That's going to be very interesting. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'm excited for week 2. I'm excited to get some more answers, see things pan out, and the Bills maybe move out of the 32 hole in the power rankings. Who knows?
Well, with that note, we're looking forward to some week 2 answers, so we may as well ask some week 2 questions on the next segment of Hats, Tats, and Stats. I'm Derek Joswiak. That is T-Wave Taylor Sekaterski. Catch you next time.